Last seen wearing a brown sweater, dark pants, and a red cap. Anyone with information relating to the disappearance of Zadok Allen is urged to contact the Boston Police Department. In other news, we've received a report from Detective Jack Walters regarding yesterday's raid on the Essex County town of Innsmouth by federal agents. Following weeks of covert investigations spurred on by rumors involving a fraternity known as the Esoteric Order of Dagon, the FBI, aided by the National Guard, placed the area under martial law early yesterday morning. We have since learned that Barnabas Marsh, owner of the Marsh Gold Refinery, has been arrested on charges of tax evasion and is being detained without bond until a trial date can be set. An anonymous source from the Bureau has refused to confirm or deny rumors of travesties committed by the Order of Dagon, but has confirmed that the Order is implicated in crimes ranging from smuggling and racketeering to bribery of a police officer, and is currently under investigation. More on this story as it develops. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, the National Weather Service has announced the formation of a Category 2 hurricane, Hurricane Obed, in the North Atlantic. The storm is moving towards the east coast and is expected to make landfall around the Massachusetts area between June 5th and 8th. We'll be keeping an eye on the storm throughout the week as it develops. In the South Pacific, however, disaster seems imminent this afternoon. A magnitude 7.8 earthquake originating about 2,000 miles west of Puerto Montt, Chile, is expected to generate one or more tsunamis. Major flooding is expected throughout the Pacific Islands, including Hawaii, Fiji, and New Zealand, as well as coastal cities in Chile, Australia, and Central America within the next 8 hours. Residents at this time are being urged to prepare for the worst. The United States Coast Guard has deployed.
This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Important information will soon follow. This message is broadcast under the authority of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. A tsunami warning has been issued for the state of Hawaii. Major and sustained flooding is expected to occur within the next 3 hours. Take action at this time to protect yourself. Evacuate to high ground or as far inland as possible, away from bodies of water. Take enough food and water to sustain you and your family for 3 to 5 days. Take a battery-powered radio with you to receive news alerts as they become available. To repeat, a tsunami warning has been issued for the state of Hawaii. Major and sustained flooding is expected to take place throughout Hawaii within the next 3 hours. Take action at this time to protect yourself. Please remain calm. Follow all instructions given to you by local officials. Stay tuned to this station to receive updates as they become available.
Have been devastated by an all-consuming wall of water. French Polynesia alone has reported casualties throughout the islands there to be in excess of 2,500, and damage to businesses, homes, and municipalities to be severe. Hawaii, New Zealand, and the Marshall Islands, as well as cities in the Philippines, Australia, and Chile, are reporting similar destruction and casualties. Meanwhile, Hurricane Obed is barreling down on the east coast, having been upgraded to a Category 3 storm late last night, with sustained wind speeds reaching over 110 miles per hour. Cities such as New York, New Haven, Providence, and our own Boston are scrambling to prepare for the storm and the surge, which is expected at this time to reach between 9 and 12 feet above sea level. Residents who have chosen not to evacuate are doing what they can to protect their homes from what is expected to be the storm of the year. Stay with us as we continue to offer live coverage of Hurricane Obed as it approaches.
State your name and rank for the record.
Petty Officer, U.S. Coast Guard,
Where were you born?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Where were you stationed on the day of June 2nd, 2020?
Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickam, Honolulu, Hawaii. I was on board the USCG cutter Urania. We were getting ready for any distress calls that would be coming in that day.
Did you respond to any distress calls that day?
Yes, sir, we did.
How many did you respond to?
I don't remember exactly, at least 15, maybe 20.
According to your CO, the Iranian responded to 17 distress calls between 1800 hours and 600 hours the following morning.
It was a long night.
At 3:18 hours on the morning of June 3rd, 2020, you reported a sighting of a, quote, unidentified submerged object off the coast of Waikiki Beach. Is that correct?
It's,
Is that correct?
yes.
Did you or anyone else aboard the Urania positively identify the object at any time?
No, we never knew what it was exactly.
Describe to me in detail exactly what you saw.
Well, it was hard to see with all the mud and debris in the water. It was dark, too, and I hadn't slept
I
since...
don't want to hear excuses. I want you to tell me what you saw.
Well, we heard a scream before we saw anything. We were out scanning the waters for anyone stranded on rooftops, treading water on boats, whatever civilians we could find. We heard a scream somewhere off starboard bow, so we threw the searchlight on the water. We looked for waving, lights, anything that might stand out, and we hear the scream again. Petty officer was on the light. She swept it around and passed it over some bits of debris that we identified as a canoe. As it passed, we saw a big splash as if something had just submerged. I pointed it out and put the light on it, but there was nothing there. At least, nothing we could see.
What do you mean?
She kept the light there for a minute to see if anything would surface, figured someone had just slipped under. We got closer, right up near it, and I see something shining between the bits of wood. It's a bracelet attached to a human arm, floating in the water, still bleeding.
What did you do?
We focused the light on the water and tried to see if there was a body just below. And that light is pretty damn strong, but with the silt, we couldn't see more than maybe 5 feet down.
And what did you see?
Nothing for a minute. Then we saw what looked like a bundle of hair. I thought I could reach it with the gaff, so I went to get it and reached down and tried to pull it up and recover the body.
Go on. What happened next?
So I'm fishing around trying to grab the body when something grabs the pole and rips it right out of my hands.
You lost the gaff.
Yeah, my first thought was that maybe a shark grabbed it, but then we saw something coming up towards the surface.
What was it?
I don't even know, but it was big. As big as a man, but some kind of fish, I think. Have you ever seen Creature from the Black Lagoon? Something like that, all scaly with green skin and webbed hands and ginormous eyes the size of baseballs.
Was it alive?
No, it was dead as a doornail, thank God.
How did you know?
There were bullet holes in it, at least 4 that I could see, and it wasn't moving.
Who shot it?
No idea. We found it that way.
Your post-mission inventory shows a discrepancy of 1 fishing gaff and 7 9mm parabellum rounds. Shell casings found on the ship match those remaining in your sidearm, which had been fired during your assignment. Did you engage any targets during that night? Did you fire your weapon?
Yes.
Why?
It was still alive. When it came up, it was still alive. It looked at us and made this threatening, hissing noise. It had so many sharp teeth like a piranha, and the claws that had to be at least 3 inches long. When it came up, so did the body, covered in gashes and bite marks. This thing jumped right up out of the water and landed on the deck. It all happened so fast.
And what did you do once it was on board?
It attacked, jumped on his back, knocked him to the ground, tried to drag him overboard. I drew my sidearm and put one in its side. It stood up and screamed, almost like a man scream, and threw across the deck into the railing. It came after me, and I fired 6 more shots and hit it 3 times.
Did you neutralize the target?
Yeah, it was dead after that. I went to go check on him, and he was okay. He just got a nasty bruise on his back.
He said he slipped and fell on the deck.
Well, he's not one to admit he got beaten up by a fish.
Why didn't you report the engagement?
I tried to. I radioed in the USO report, but when I looked back, we're rolling the thing back into the water. With the body gone, who'd believe that I shot and killed a damn fish man?
So you all agreed to keep quiet.
The Coast Guard is my career. I can see the headlines now. Scared petty officer shoots civilian. And if not, I'd get booted out on a Section 8 like that.
You didn't shoot a civilian?
No, it was some sort of fish monster, damn it! It tried to kill...
Sign this.
What's this?
If you want to stay on the Coast Guard, sign it.
Agreement of non-disclosure of state secrets.
This will release you of liability and keep you in the service. It'll make this whole problem disappear and you won't have to worry about a thing. In exchange, you keep quiet about the events of that night. If you speak of this to anyone, you will be stripped of your rank and pension, dishonorably discharged from the United States Coast Guard, and brought up on criminal charges. Do you understand?
But what about...
We'll take care of it. As far as you're concerned, no report of a USO was received. You never heard the scream, never saw anybody, never drew your weapon, and don't know anything about any fishman. Sign it.
Who are you people?
This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Information vital to your safety will soon follow. This message is broadcast under the authority of the National Weather Service. A hurricane warning has been issued for the following states until further notice: Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire, and Vermont. A Category 4 hurricane is expected to make landfall within the next 24 hours. Civil authorities in these states have declared a mandatory evacuation order for all persons receiving this message, effective immediately. Use designated evacuation routes to reach high ground or a designated hurricane shelter as soon as possible. Take enough food and water to support yourself and your family for at least 3 days. Take a battery-powered radio with you to receive information as it becomes available. Expect power outages lasting a week or more, and extreme flooding lasting several days. Avoid large bodies of water. Flash flooding along the coast and rivers will pose an extreme threat to human life. Please stand by for a list of hurricane shelters. Please stand by for a list.
Volcanic activity near the source of the earthquake as a result of the aftershocks. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, an earthquake of devastating magnitude originating from that area is possible in the near future. Satellite imaging from NOAA has detected the appearance of a new island in that area as well. Scientists theorize that geothermal pressure has forced a section of the seafloor to the surface, an event that has not occurred for over 20,000 years. That same imagery has also confirmed the presence of what appears to be ruins on the island, leading theories to propagate ranging from aliens to the lost city of Atlantis. Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University could not
This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Important information will soon follow. This is an emergency update. Hurricane Obed is expected to make landfall within the next hour. The storm has been upgraded to a Category 5 storm. A surge of 18 to 24 feet is expected. Evacuation is no longer possible. Seek shelter at this time.
Ongoing report of Hurricane Obed, which, in defiance of all meteorological science, appears to have stopped over Massachusetts, with the eye of the storm located squarely over Essex County. Everywhere from Derry to Philadelphia, streets are flooded. Cars and yes, even entire buildings have been swept away by winds topping out at almost 200 miles per hour. Floodwaters more than 20 feet deep have forced this station to the top floor of the building. No idea how much longer we'll be on the air. This is a truly biblical storm.
This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Important information will soon follow. This message is broadcast at the request of the United States Coast Guard. The presence of hostile creatures has been confirmed throughout New England. These creatures are aquatic in nature, resembling humans with fish-like features, including gills, webbed hands and feet, fins, large eyes, sharp teeth, and scaly skin. These creatures are extremely aggressive and have been confirmed to be attacking and killing civilians caught in the storm. These creatures are extremely strong, durable, agile, and are capable of leaping great distances from water or on land. At this time, all persons in the affected area are encouraged to arm themselves with whatever means are available. The use of lethal force to defend yourself has been authorized. Stay as far away from flood water as possible, as the current number of creatures in the affected area is unknown at this time. If one of your group falls into the water, do not attempt to rescue them. Military forces have been mobilized in your area to seek out and evacuate survivors. This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Important information will soon follow. This message is broadcast under the authority of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. A magnitude 10.7 earthquake has been recorded in the southern Pacific Ocean. A tsunami warning has been issued for the state of Hawaii. Catastrophic flooding is expected to occur within the next 2 hours. This flooding is theorized to be capable of sinking all islands of Hawaii. Take action at this time to protect yourself. Report to the nearest military installation immediately for evacuation. Military forces have been mobilized to evacuate as many civilians as possible before the tsunami makes landfall. Do not take more than one luggage item per person with you. Reports of hostile creatures in the waters in and around the state of Hawaii have been received. These creatures are extremely strong, durable, agile, and are capable of leaping great distances from water or on land. For your own safety, do not approach any bodies of water at this time. If you see one or more persons in a body of water, do not attempt to rescue them. If you encounter one of these creatures, lethal force has been authorized to protect yourself and your loved ones. Be aware of possible volcanic activity throughout the state at this time. Please stand by for a list of military installations. Please.
Running on just the barest of bones here at WBRD. We are on the top floor, the water is already knee-deep, and we're about to hit to the roof with whatever equipment we can carry. We could be knocked off the air at any moment. Water is just pouring in from every window, vent, even the roof is leaking. We've gotten reports of fish monsters appearing throughout the East Coast. This is not a joke. They are killing any survivors they find. The Coast Guard has been deployed to the area and is even telling citizens to take up arms to defend themselves. But in this storm, it's hard to see anything. It's getting dark and the water is still rising. About 2 hours ago, the station was shaken by a massive earthquake. Half the building has crumbled away and... Oh my God! I'm looking out from the roof of the station and the water is just teeming with these fish monsters. There must be thousands, hundreds of thousands just in Boston alone. And the Coast Guard is nowhere to be seen. Helicopters! Hey! Down here! Help! Hey! Down here! Oh my God! No! No, stay back!
This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Important information will soon follow. This message is broadcast under the authority of the United States Department of Defense. This is an emergency update. As of 6:15 this afternoon, the state of Hawaii has been completely destroyed. A partial tectonic collapse following the impact of a tsunami in Hawaii has opened a massive sinkhole in the Pacific Ocean. Several naval vessels in the area have survived the catastrophe and have reported being attacked by massive numbers of aquatic creatures. These creatures have been confirmed as being the same as those reported on the eastern seaboard and other Pacific islands. Reports of these creatures has also been received in coastal cities around the world, including Tokyo, Japan, Sydney, Australia, Kochi, India, Shanghai, China, Santiago, Chile, and Vladivostok, Russia. Massive flooding in the northeastern United States has facilitated the invasion of these creatures into the mainland, and reports have been received of additional unknown, protoplasmic creatures attacking and consuming people as they move through the water. An island has risen near the epicenter of the recent earthquakes, where meteorological phenomena is currently taking place. At this time, all persons receiving this message are urged